Good morning, everyone. I hope you have joined the session and you're able to hear me out. So let us give a couple of more minutes for other suppliers to join. So we will start the session by 10:05. Okay. While we wait for other suppliers to join, like I have my team over the call who will be taking you through this session. My name is Irfan Mohammed. I'm from Altazam Group of Companies, and I have Tamer from SAP Ariba, and I have my procurement team who will be answering your questions, which are posted in Q&A section of the session. Okay, so let us wait for a couple of more minutes for other suppliers to join, and we will start. Thank you. Okay, thanks for waiting and allowing other suppliers to join the session. We will start the session now. It will be around 2 hours of a session where we'll be taking you through the Ariba Commerce Automation, which is a supplier side of a portal where you can log into the portal and where you can see your purchase order, where you can see your GRNs, whether it is accepted or not, and based on your GRN acceptance and the STS acceptance, you can post the invoices online. So this portal has been designed in such a way and integrated with our backend systems so that all the transactions can be done online, and both from the supplier and from the buyer side, both the parties are informed about the various status of a purchase order. Okay, so we'll be taking you through each of the transactions step by step, and also we'll be giving you some FAQs from the suppliers and what are the most common issues the suppliers are facing while using the Ariba Commerce Automation platform, and you can use the Q&A section on this session to post your questions. We have our team dedicated from our side who will be answering all your questions, and they'll be helping you. And this session is a recorded session, and once we complete this session, there will be automated email will be sent to all the attendees of this session maybe a day after, so that you can click on that link and you can go to the recording once again. And if required, if you want to save this recording for your future reference, you can do that, and you can share it with your colleagues to have an understanding like how Ariba Commerce Automation platform can be used. Okay, so Tamar, can I have the next slide, please? Okay, so the agenda for today is we'll be seeing the program overview, like what we'll be having in this session today, and we'll be seeing about different companies who will be using Ariba Commerce Automation, like all Altazam group of companies who are responsible for using the Ariba Commerce Automation. And we have digitalized this platform where where the buyer and supplier relationship is on the portal and in a digital way. And we have stopped accepting the invoices through the emails or the physical invoices, which has been practiced in the past. So as communicated in multiple email chains, so all the invoices, all the POs will be sent to the supplier, and supplier will be submitting invoices through Ariba platform. And we need to make use of this platform to make this digital journey a success. Yeah, and then we will be seeing about the Ariba network overview and what are the different account types a supplier can create, and we will do a live system demonstration for the suppliers who can take notes about different steps, like how a PO is confirmed, how ASN is done, how SES is created, and how he can check the various statuses on the PO, and how he can check his invoice status as well. And at the last, we'll be giving like around 5 to 10 minutes for the questions, which can be posted in under Q&A section, and which will be answered. Like during the session as well, you can post your questions under Q&A, and our team will try to respond to you on that. Okay. Next slide. Okay, so workforce connection, WFC, which we call, is our shared service provider. So this team is responsible for collaborating with you all, who will be sharing you with the POs, and who are sharing you they are requesting for the proposal from your side, and who are collaborating with you. So there are few people who are engaging with you who are from WFC, and WFC is a shared service partner of Altazam Group who is in touch with you. Okay, and WFC is a support function from our side who is dealing in different departments such as like finance, IT, marketing, and all. And they have their way of supporting, so you can check with them, and they will try to help you as much as possible. Okay. And about our group, we are a group of Altazam Group is the part of IHC group of companies who is involved into the asset management, the community management, and facility management, which is done with the various companies. Okay, and in the following slide, we'll be seeing the different companies which comes under an Altazam umbrella. And I hope this session would help you to understand the Ariba Commerce Automation platform, and it will help you to know about your PO, your invoice, and it will give you the real-time status. Compare in the past where a supplier is not know about his PO and the invoice, and where there were multiple email communication circulated between the supplier and the buyer. Yeah. Next slide. So in this slide, we can see like these are the different companies which comes under Altazam Group, and you may be and you are receiving the POs from different set of companies like Tafao, Orion Tech, 360, Omnius, and all. So these all companies comes under Altazam Group, and you may receive PO from any one of these groups for your business. Okay, so now I will be giving the control to my SAP Ariba team, Tamar, who will be taking you to the next session where he will talk about the Ariba network, and he will be giving a live talk about like how you can process the POs, the shipment notice and all. Okay, Cameron, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Arfan. Hello, good morning, everyone. Yeah, thanks for joining us today. My name is Tamer Adam, and I'm part of SAP Ariba team. So I'm supporting Ariba customers like Iltizam Group on onboarding and enabling their suppliers on Ariba network. So let's start first with an overview about Ariba network. So as you may know about Ariba network, it's the largest business network where you can find millions of buyers and suppliers transacting with the trillions of dollars every year. So through one Ariba network account, you can manage different types of document, as you can see. And in this slide, you can manage proposals, contract invoices, and other also types of documents. You can also, through one account, collaborate and transact with many customers worldwide. And also, you can always connect to Ariba network through different browsers. So we support different browsers. We also we have mobile applications that you can use in order to connect on Ariba network and transact with your customer. And we support different languages and different currencies. So when you register on Ariba, you have two options. You have two types of account. You can choose one of them. So we have the first account type is the standard account, and the second one is enterprise account. So let's start first with the standard account. So through standard account, you will get the basic access to the basic features that you need in order to transact with your customer. So this is the default account that we have. So through this standard account, you will be receiving interactive email purchase orders from your customer. So whenever your customer is sending you a new purchase order, you'll be receiving one email. And through this email, you'll be able to create subsequent documents. You'll be able to, for example, to confirm the order, to create ASN, to create invoice, and etc. So you always need to keep these emails that you receive from your customer in order to process your purchase order further. And what is important here, or the key feature of this standard account, it's free of charge. You don't need to pay any additional fees. It's for unlimited transaction, and you can always just register on this standard account, and you can have as many as you can from for customers to transact with them. So as additional features, also beside what we mentioned in the previous slide for the standard account, so through your standard account, you will get access to Ariba Discovery. So Ariba Discovery is also an online platform or marketplace where you can find new customers. So those customers can reach you through sending you sales leads. So those customers can reach you by matching your profile. So when you register on Ariba, you need to set up your profile, and you need to add, if you are a service supplier, you need to add the services that you provide, or if you are a material supplier, then you need also to add the goods that you also deliver and the countries that you can deliver to. So through setting up this profile, many customers can reach you, new customers can reach you, and they can send you leads, and later on this can be converted to a purchase order, so which means that you can expand your business with new customers on Ariba network or Ariba Discovery. Also, through your standard account access, you will get free access also to SAP Ariba contract management module. You will be able to respond to the email orders that you receive from your customer. And also, as I mentioned, we don't have limits for the standard account in terms of document limitation, in terms of volume. This is always unlimited with the standard account. And you can have also unlimited Ariba network relationship, which means you can have unlimited number of customers transacting with you. And we have also for the standard account, the online support via the SAP Help Center, where you can reach out to the Ariba support team in case of any technical issue happened. And in case if you are on the go supplier, so you are not sitting in front of laptop and you're always moving from one side to another side. So we have also another feature where you can download the SAP Ariba mobile app. This is a supplier mobile app. It's also available on App Store and Play Store. You can download it and you can also transact with your customer through your mobile. So coming to the other type of the Ariba accounts that we provide. So as we mentioned, we have the standard account and the other one, which is the enterprise account. So enterprise account includes all the features that we mentioned in the standard account, plus some additional features. So these features are first, it's in terms of document exchange. So when you receive a purchase order from your customer, you don't need to go back to your email or the email BO that you got from your customer in order to process the purchase order or in order to create subsequent document. You can always manage all documents through your Ariba network account if you have enterprise subscription or enterprise account. So you can always log into your Ariba network account and you can see all purchase orders that you receive, and you can process them online. So you don't need to go back to this email that you received in order to process it. So all those documents will be stored in tabs called inbox and outbox. So inbox, this includes all documents that you received from your customers, and outbox, this is will show you all documents that you sent to your customer, something like invoice. So whenever you send an invoice, this would be stored in outbox, and you will be able to report on those invoices, and you can be able to change and to edit those invoices or to manage them online without going back to the email BO that you received. Also, besides these features, in the enterprise account, you can also integrate your ERP system with Ariba network. So which means also all those documents which are coming from your customer can be integrated directly with your ERP system, and you can manage them from ERP system. This in case if you also have high volume of documents. And you get also access to some archiving features like long-term invoice archiving. This is also part of the enterprise account features. And for SAP Ariba support, we also have support for enterprise account, but this is also more dedicated support for you. So you can also reach out to our support team, not only by raising SAP tickets or incidents, but also through phone call or chat or web form. In case of any questions, just feel free to use the Q&A chat button, okay, and just ask your question, and someone from our team also will be answering your queries. So this is just a comparison between the standard account that we talked about and the enterprise account. So as you can see, the enterprise account includes more features rather comparing to the standard account. What we need to highlight here, it's about the fees for the enterprise account. So as we said, for standard account, this is free of charge, but for the enterprise account, this is subject to additional fees, and this is based on some thresholds that we have. So in case if you are interested to just know more about these fees and the thresholds that we have to calculate your invoices, you can, when you receive this presentation, you can click on this hyperlink to see the complete details of the additional fees for the enterprise account. So by default, when you register, if you already received your first purchase order from Iltizam Group and you are not registered on Ariba network, then your account will be a standard account, and then you will get this screen on the left side, that tells you that your account is standard, and if you want to upgrade, you can click on this button that which is called Learn More. When you click on this button, you will see this screen on the right side. So again, this is a comparison between the standard account features and the enterprise account features. You can go through them. You can check again the fees if you click on this hyperlink, and if you want to upgrade, you can click on the upgrade button. Okay, so coming to the steps, or the first step that you will go through it when you receive your first purchase order. So, so if you are new to Ariba network, then when you receive your first purchase order from Iltizam Group, this will be through email PO that you will get from Iltizam. And in this email PO, it's actually interactive email. So you will find in this email PO some details about the purchase order. We'll see this in the next slide. And also you will see a blue button called process order. This button will navigate you or direct you to the Ariba network screen in order to log in or to sign up if you don't have account. And then from there, you'll be able to, after registration, for example, or after you log in successfully, you'll be able to confirm the order to Iltizam Group. So the communication will be always for the standard accounts through interactive email PO. So you need to wait for the first purchase order from Iltizam Group in order to process it, or in order to also sign up if you still not yet signed up on Ariba network. So these are some recommendations that we always recommend to our suppliers when they receive, before they click on process order for the first time. So first, we recommend you to align internally just to make sure that if your organization already have account on Ariba network or not, just make sure that this is the first account. So then you can decide to sign up. But if your organization already have account on Ariba network, then you need to contact your administrator who is responsible for your account or the organization account in order to create for you a new username. So this alignment is always required before you click on process order and create a new account for your organization in case if you already have another account for another department. As a second recommendation, also we, since for the standard account, since everything is managed through email PO, so everything is managed through email PO, so you always get emails from your customers, and you always need to go back to this email if you want to confirm the order, if you want to create ASN, if you want to create invoice, for example. So you always need to go to this email and click on process order in order to process it or to create subsequent document. To make it more easier for you, we always recommend also to create a separate folder for Iltizam Group, for example, where you can store all the email POs that you already received from Iltizam in one folder. So whenever you want to process one order or you want to create a subsequent document on one of those orders, you can go to this email folder and you can just search about your PO and you can locate this PO and create your subsequent documents. So this would make the life much more easier. And the third recommendation is about the administrator. So if you are going to sign up for the first time for your organization on Ariba network, then you need to designate one administrator. This administrator would be responsible for managing the account for your organization. So he would be responsible for creating new user names, new roles for your organization. and also he would be able to change some details and also setting up the profile for your organization. So this is an important role that you need to agree on and designate someone to take it up. Or in case if your organization is already registered, so you need to know who is the administrator of your organization, so you can contact him if you want to change something, if you want to add your email in some notifications, if you want to get some more access. So you always need to know this person because you will need to some support from him when you are transacting with different customers. Okay, so now let's go to a system demo. So through this demo, we'll see different types of purchase orders. I will process them from end to end. So we have two examples, the one for material purchase order and another one for service purchase order. I will show you the material purchase order from end to end. So we'll confirm the order, we'll create ASN. Also for the service order, we create a service entry sheet, and then we'll post our invoice or we'll create our invoice. And yeah, and this would be the last step in this demonstration. And after that, I will show you also quick navigation on account administration. I will show you exactly the difference also between the standard account and enterprise account in terms of navigation and some additional features in enterprise. So let me share a screen. Just bear with me until I share my screen. Okay, so now I shared my screen. So if you see my screen, please confirm over a chat that you are able to see my screen. Okay, so so this is one email PO that I received as a supplier, and here this is what you will get from Iltizam Group as a first order. So as you can see here, we see that Iltizam Group name here is already in the title of or subject of this email PO. You see the PO number here is sent. And you see some attachments. So these attachments are for the PO itself. So this also includes the same details that we have in this email body. So let's check what is already existing in this email. So we have here the Iltizam Group name, and we have the message from Iltizam Group. And we have this button that we were talking about, which is the process order. As you can see, this is interactive button. So if you click on it, this will navigate us to the next screen for logging in or signing up. If we check and go further down, we'll see the details of the purchase orders that we received. So we see here this is the customer information, and this is our the supplier information and contact details. We can see the payment terms also is mentioned here. We can see the supplier address and the attachments that we have for the PO, and also some more information about ship to and bill to information, and also if we have deliver to, you can find it here. And then we come to the line item details. So since this is a material PO, we can identify it from the type on the line item. So if we have seen that in the type on the line item, it's a material, that means it's a material PO. If this is a service, this would be a service PO. So this is a material PO. So we have the part number, and we have the type and the quantity. You can see also the need by date. This is a date that you need to deliver by then. And also we see the unit price and subtotal and taxes. We can see also which document are allowed to be created as a subsequent document on this order. So we see that order confirmation is allowed, ship notice is allowed, service entry sheet is not allowed because this is not a service order. And then we can see this tax category. This is also coming from Iltizam profile. And we can see some details about the schedule lines for delivery dates proposed. And here also we can see the grand total and estimated grand total for the entire purchase order. So if we have multiple line items, we'll see line item number 10, then 20, 30, etc. It depends on how many line items or materials are requested in this PO. Then if we are okay, we can click on process order. So a process order will navigate us to the login screen. So if the system detected already my organization is already registered, I will get this login screen with this message that my company is already registered. So which means I need to log in using my credential on Ariba network. Okay, in case if you are a new supplier and your organization is not registered, you will be also asked to sign up. We'll see this screen also in a screenshot in the presentation, which message that you will get and how you can sign up. Okay, so here I just need to have, I will just use my credential. Okay, so here we logged in successfully. As you can see, this is a standard account. I see here this upgrade button that can navigate me to the upgrade screen, where I can find some comparison between the standard account and the enterprise account. We'll come to this point also later in today's demo when we have the account administration demo. But for now, you can see this screen is just directed to the PO that I clicked on it. So if this PO is not yet confirmed, I will be able to see some buttons here active. Okay, and I see here some buttons are just grayed out. So which means that I'm missing something here in order to create those documents or to click on those buttons. So those buttons will be activated once I create order confirmation. So first, once you create this order confirmation, once you confirm the order, this button will be activated to create ship notice. Once you create the ship notice, this invoice also will be also active. We can see here some information about the PO. These are the same details that we have seen in the email PO. So we can see from to information and contact details. We can see the status of this purchase order. So normally you will see the status is new. If something was changed in this PO, for example, let's say Iltizam buyer has changed something in this PO and sent it again to you, then you will see this status is changed. Yeah, and same information that we talked about, you can see the attachment of this PO, the ship to and bill to information, and also the line items details. if you want to click on these details, you can also click on it here, and this will show you the details of the line item. And you can see this, the status of this one is still unconfirmed. Okay, if you want to just download this screen, you can download it. So what we need to do next is just to confirm this order. So as you can see, we have different options when you want to confirm an order. So you can, if you are able to confirm or to deliver the entire quantity to your customers, then you can click on confirm entire order. So that means the system will confirm, or you are going to confirm the entire quantity requested. Okay, you are able to deliver the entire quantity. So then you can confirm entire order. If you have shortage in one of those items requested, or the quantity requested is higher than what you have currently in your warehouse, for example, then you can update the line items and you can confirm it partially. So partially means that you are not going to confirm the entire quantity, but you are going to confirm partially some of those of the requested quantity. And reject entire order, that means you are not able to deliver this material at all, and you are going to reject this order. So what we recommend in case if you are not able to confirm the order, it's always recommended to contact your buyer who already sent you this purchase order before you reject the order, because it's more easier for the buyers to change the order rather than creating new orders for you. So if you have any concerns about the POs that was sent to you, just feel free to contact directly your buyer and ask for the changes, or tell him about the concerns that you have with the order, and he should do the needful. And then you will be able to receive a new version of the PO, and then you can confirm it entirely or partially. So for now, I will confirm the entire order. Then I will be navigated to this screen. So here I have two steps. I need to confirm the entire order, so I need to fill in some details, and then I will review what I have entered in the second step. So here you see some informations are required. So whatever you see here, asterisk or star in front of the field, that means it's a mandatory field, or it's required to be entered by your customer. So what we can enter first here is a confirmation number. So this is also important to enter this number, because this would be the reference numbers that you communicate with the Iltizam group to tell them that you already confirmed the order, because this number will be stored on the purchase order. Okay, and you can always refer to this number. So this could be based on any naming conventions that you want to follow. Okay, maybe you use just a mix of date and time, or just a date and customer number, whatever you want to use. You can use this number just to say that I confirmed this order with this reference number. Then you can refer to this number later on if you want to report on these confirmation documents that you already created. So for example, here I will just use a kind of a date confirmation number. If you want also to add an additional reference here, maybe you can add this supplier reference as Ariba to always also use those information or those fields in reporting later on. This would help you a lot if you want to have some reports with this reference. And if you have the estimated shipping date, you can enter this shipping date. And then the delivery date, you can also enter. So this is also requested. As you can see here in the line items, this is need by this date. So you need also to deliver it within this date. So we can enter here also. Yes, Irfan, you want to add something?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd
sure.
like to just to go on there. Yeah, the confirmation number and the supplier reference, like these are your own field, like where you need to enter a unique number. A number which can be identified by you, and a number which can be identified by us. Like whenever you're creating the confirmation, please try to follow a pattern. how you are creating the confirmation for all. Like over this period of time when different suppliers are working on Ariba commerce automation, while doing the confirmation, we see some random numbers being entered. So like better to have a unique sequence for your purpose, so that it can be tracked out. Like as Tamer said, like it would be a very useful for the reporting. And while you're doing a confirmation or any invoice or ASN, like this will help out. Like if you would run into some error and you're not able to get any status, so if you communicate to Iltizam group with these numbers, the confirmation number or any supplier reference number, this will help us to check it and troubleshoot the issue much faster way. Otherwise it will take time. And to further add on this delivery to date, we have enabled a transaction rule. There are certain rules which control, which brings the control on the supplier network side. So here the current rule is like you can enter the delivery date, estimated delivery date, as like 15 days ahead only. Like if the delivery date in the PO is like 1st September, those errors. So those errors are about your data, which has to be corrected. Yeah, Tamar, you can continue.
Okay. Yeah, so thanks, Irfan, for adding this as well. So yeah, as we said, we have entered here the confirmation number. This is also optional, the supplier reference, if you want to add it also for reporting. And here I just maintained the estimated shipping date and delivery date. Then I can click on next. Here in this screen, or in the second step, as you can see from the left side, this is just a confirmation or just a revision to review your details that you have entered. You can again just review your confirmation numbers that you have entered, review the quantities that you're going to confirm. If you found something that is not correct, you can always go back and you click on previous, and this will bring you back to the previous screen where you can edit or you can amend or change whatever you have entered wrong and correct it, and then you click next again. If you are good with this confirmation, you can click on submit. Then this creates a confirmation document, and as you can see, we have now some changes already applied in this purchase order. So the first change that we can see now is this button now is active, create ship notice. Okay, so if we remember that this button was inactive or it was grayed out, right, during confirmation step. So once we confirm the order, now we are able to create a ship notice. So this is now active. You can see the status of the purchase order is now confirmed, and you can see your related documents, the documents that you confirmed. That's why we also focused on this number, the confirmation number, because as you can see, this is now stored and linked to your purchase order. So you need to make it a meaningful number so you can refer to this number later on. And as you can see, it's a hyperlink. So if I click on this link or this number, this will direct me to the confirmation documents that I have created. And all related documents that would be created on this purchase order will be stored in this section, in the related documents. So you will see when you create ship notice, this also will be stored here, and etc. All documents will be stored here. Okay, so now this order is confirmed. What I will do next is to create a ship notice. To tell Iltizam that I'm going to deliver this on that date with this quantity. So I click on create ship notice. Okay, so this is one way to create a ship notice. If you're still in the same screen, you can click on this. But let's say that now you already confirmed the order today, and later on, after 5 days, for example, you are going to confirm, you want to create a ship notice. So what you will do if you have a standard account. So in this case, you need to go back again to the email PO that you received from your customer, from Iltizam Group, and you need to find out this PO number that you received and confirm it. Okay, and you need to click again on process order. So when you click on process order, again, this will navigate you to the PO screen where you can find the create ship notice button, and you can create the ship notice. Okay, so here I will click again on create ship notice. So here we have some information also already coming by default, it was only copied from the PO, so you don't need to fill it in again. So everything should be already coming from the PO that you already confirmed. So here you see this is asterisk or star in front of the packing slab ID. So this is also the number of your packing slab. This could be the delivery note number that you have, it's the tracking number. Okay, so here you can enter this number in this packing slab ID. So I'm using my own naming convention. Again, you need to also align internally and agree on your own naming convention for each document you are going to create on Ariba network. Okay, if you have your invoice number, you can maintain it here, but this is just optional. And here we have the delivery date, which is mandatory field. So let's make it today. And if you want to add attachment for the delivery note, you can attach it here. And also, if you have some information about the transportation information, you can fill it in here also. If you have the gross weight, sealing party code, the seal ID, etc. This can be also filled, but this is just optional fields if you want to add more details. And here, this is the important information that you need to confirm. It's about the order items. So in this order item, you can see that you have this ship quantity. So let's say that you confirm it, for example, 10 pieces of one material. And you are going to ship only for now like 5 pieces. Okay, so this you can change from this field in the ship quantity. If you are going to ship it partially today and later on you will ship the rest of the quantity. If you are going to ship the entire quantity that you already confirmed, then you don't need to change this ship quantity, and you can always click, you can keep it as it is, and you can click on next. If any field is mandatory and you missed it, this will be shown in this screen, and you'll get a message, error message. So let's say I just missed this backing slab ID, and I'm going to click on next. Now I'm not able to proceed next because I have here this message. So you always see those, any error screen on Ariba network like that. So you see it on the top that some errors are there. And if you just scroll down slowly, you'll see which field you already missed. So you see here, this field was marked as required and you missed it. So you need to fill it in order to proceed with the next screen. Then I click next, and again, as we have seen also with the order confirmation, you always get 2 screens. First screen to enter your data, to maintain your information and confirm everything, and second screen just to review. So you always need to review what you have entered before you submit the document, just to avoid mistakes, to avoid also the double work, just in case if you submitted something by mistake for extra quantity, something like that, and you are not able to ship the entire quantity, then you can review again the quantities that you are going to ship it, and if there is something wrong, you can always go back. If it's okay, you can click on submit. If you save it, this will be saved, but it's not submitted to Iltizam group. Okay, so if you still working on it, you're waiting for some feedback or some approvals from your team already, so you can just save it as a draft, and this will be saved only, and you can go back to it and submit it anytime. For now, we'll submit the ship notice so we can process it further. Once we submitted the ship notice, we can see also some changes applied here in the purchase order. First, we see the status of the purchase order is shipped. We see also our document for the ship notice where we entered the packing slip ID is also stored here in the related documents, and we can always click on it if you want to see it again, but this is also stored here. Okay, so
Tamer, can you please
yes.
take them through the most common issues they may run up, like about the status which has an impact for doing the invoice creation, and also like after they did the confirmation and the shipment notice, and due to any reason the buyer is changing the PO. So what supplier has to do? And what is the necessity of doing the confirmation and shipment? Can you please address this most common question from the supplier side?
Yes, sure. So you always need, in order to create the invoice, you need to wait for the goods receipt that needs to be done by Iltizam Group. So when you send this ship notice and you deliver the goods to Iltizam Group, you need to wait for the goods receipt to be posted in Iltizam Group system, and this need to be communicated again to Ariba network. So you will not be able to create the invoice until this is received by the buyers or by the one who requested those goods from Iltizam Group on the system. So maybe you already sent the order, you already delivered it, and now you want to create invoice. So you will not be able to create this invoice until the PO is received, and until you see this status of the PO is received, and you see the material document or the goods receipt notice document that was posted by Iltizam Group. So you always need to wait for this update in order to create the invoice. Otherwise, you will not be able to create your invoice. Maybe also, Irfan, if you want to add something more, feel free to add it here also at this stage.
So, and one of the most common questions what we hear from the supplier, like, they have done the shipment notice or the confirmation, the confirmation, like partial, and, so the store at the back end at supplier, and they are not able to process the DRM. So, and they want to do the full invoice, then also it is not possible. You need to understand one thing, like, for the shipment, what you're creating, like if the PO value is of 100 quantity, okay, so if you're delivering the water if you're delivering the water to Elta, like 100 bottles of water, and while doing the shipment, you have done the shipment of only 80. Okay, so the store or the receiver of that particular material will be able to receive the goods only for 80 only, and then you will be able to do the invoice for 80 only. You cannot do the full invoice because system will not allow. Okay, so you need to make sure, like, if you are doing the shipment for partial, the GRN will be done for the partial, and for the remaining the delta quantity, like, for that remaining 20 quantity, you need to do another shipment notice, and the response will be going to the store to do the GRN for that remaining 20 quantity, and then you will be able to raise the invoice for another quantity. Another delta quantity which is left over, which is 20. Okay, and while you're doing the invoice, so always try to do 1:1. Don't club the invoices, because while you are running into the invoices, it can lead into many issues, and it will take time to troubleshoot those issues and fix it. Because we have seen some of the cases, like they have raised multiple shipment and multiple GRNs has been done, but while doing the invoice, what they are trying to do, they are clubbing all those invoices into one invoice. So system will auto reject those invoices, and those invoices will be in hang state, and which has to be troubleshoot and it has to be cleared up. So especially in the case of SES, which we'll see in the upcoming session, like how the SES has to be done, and then how the invoice has to be done. So these are certain things which as a supplier you need to take care of it. Okay. Tamer, you can take it and proceed for the invoice.
Okay, thanks, Irfan. So now we just wait for the goods receipt again, and let's go back yeah, assuming that we now we were waiting for the goods receipt to be posted by Iltizam. So again, we go back to our email PO and we click on process order just to see if this PO is already received or not yet, so we can create the invoice. So as you can see, now the PO, yes, sir.
Yeah, further to add on this, like whenever there is any transaction being posted at our backend system, like Iltizam system, there will be notifications going to the person responsible. Okay, the person responsible on the PO who has received that PO, so he will be getting all the alerts on that PO, like that the GRN has been done or GRN has been detected or whatever may be. So he will be getting the alerts. So make sure your email ID is correctly updated and make sure to check your inbox. As advised in the beginning of the session, what you can do, you can create a separate folder where you can set a rule in your Outlook and you can check on the folder like all the notifications which the system is sending to you. And if required, you can use the messages option on the bottom right of the screen you're seeing to communicate with the buyer at the Iltizam site for any of the issues you have seen. So Tamer, can you just click on the order history and can you show them like how to check the logs if there is any issue while they are creating any confirmation or shipment notice?
Yes, sure. So here we click on this second tab, which is called Order History. And in this tab, you can see all communications that have been done on this PO. This is starting from the order, when the order was sent, and when it was confirmed, who confirmed this one, okay, the user, and the date and time. You can see this shipping and when it was received exactly. So you can see all the history and communication on this purchase order. If something was failed or some errors, you'll be able to just track and find out what is wrong from this history. So if something was failed during sending to Iltizam group, for example, you will be able to see this error in this history.
This history will really help you to understand, like, like currently we are checking a consumable PO. So you can clearly see, like, you have done the confirmation, which is successfully received and acknowledged by Iltizam group, followed by the shipment notice. And Iltizam group has received the shipment notice and the number you see, number, what you see is that the DRN number of the Iltizam group. So you need to receive this number and the status needs to be received for you to process the invoice. This is mandatory. Without confirmation and the shipment, your system will not allow you to get the invoice. So when you come up on the portal and when you see a PO and when you're trying to do the invoice, the button would be gray. It is not highlighted earlier. So please make sure you follow the process of doing the confirmation and the shipment notice, then doing the invoice.
Exactly. Yeah, and as we can see also here, this is the email that is registered for email notification on your account. So we'll come to this point also later on today in today's demo during the account navigation. We'll see how we can add our email ID that needs to receive those email notification or to receive the PO. Also, as Irfan mentioned, that you can also set up and make sure that you get email notifications for any notification or any changes on the purchase order already happened. So we'll see also how we can configure this in our account. But yeah, this is very useful. Order history is where you can always track the history of the order. So now this order is received, right? So we can see this from the status is order is received, which means Iltizam group already received this order on the system, and now this is updated on the PO on Ariba network. And we can see also the material document or the goods receipt notice that was posted. So this is the internal number that is coming from Iltizam group system. Okay, for the quantities they received. So now, as also last step here and on this purchase order, since this is received, so we are able to create the invoice. So as Irfan mentioned, also you'll be able only to create invoice for the quantity that received based on what you have been shipped. Okay. So here you have different types of invoices. You can create a standard invoice. This is what we're going to create. You can create credit memo if this later on you want to have some adjustment or line item credit memo. For now, we'll proceed with the normal invoice, which is the standard invoice for the quantities that we shipped and received by Iltizam Group. So we click on create invoice, create a standard invoice, then we come to this screen. So here also we have some information that we need to fill it in. What is important is always the fields marked or with asterisk or star. Those fields need to be filled in, otherwise you will not be able to submit the invoice. So here, as you can see, again, this is the invoice number that you need to fill it in. Again, this could be, this is your internal number, invoice numbers that you can use it here. We have also rule that is already activated, network rule activated here, or transaction rule, that also check and validate these numbers that you are going to enter. So some special characters only are allowed. Let me just try to enter any number with some special character which is not allowed. And let's see the error that we'll get. For example, something like that. And this is the invoice date, and here some additional information you can fill it in. So here, these are the header. This is the header level shipping that you can fill it in. You can see again the payment terms. So again, we are creating invoice with reference to BO. So this is called BO flip feature or functionality. So BO flip, everything is coming from the original PO and it's already copied to your invoice. So you don't need to really maintain all those information again. All those information, or most of the information, will come by default copied from the purchase order, and some of them also will not be able to change them because they already agreed during the PO. And here also we have in the line items, we have this, again, the line item or the materials that you already delivered and it was received by Iltizam Group. Here you will see the quantities that was also received. And this is the tax category, which is also coming from Iltizam Group profile. What is important here also, this is the supplier tax registration number. So this is coming from your profile. We'll come to see this also later, how you can configure this TRN. And this is a customer TRN also, which is coming from Iltizam profile. This is a tax invoice that you can fill it in, tax invoice number, you can fill it in as well. And then you can confirm all this information and you can click next. So we also remember that we didn't enter this number correctly. Let's see if this number would be accepted or not. So when I click next, I'm not able to proceed further because I have an error here. So if we go back and go up here, we'll see that there is error message. And here, if we just scroll down, we'll see this message is coming. So this is already set up based on a transaction rule that's already set up for Iltizam Group, where you need to make sure that the maximum number of your invoice number is 16 digits. You can always use other letters, lower letters, numbers, but we have only 2 special characters supported. This one is the hyphen or dash and forward slash. So if you use any other special characters, this will not be accepted by Iltizam Group. So Irfan, do you want to add something here also about invoice number naming convention?
Yeah, like whenever you're trying to enter the invoice, like as in form, like, you know, it is always good to enter some meaningful number. Like typically you might be using some other system to generate an invoice in your system. So better to have that same invoice number entered to be here so that it can be referenced back to your system and also in our system. Like if in case of any issue while you're processing the invoice, like, it got rejected, or you're not getting the proper status from the system, then, these numbers can be referred. Like entering any random number, or, without any sequence of a number, then, that would create a problem, like a problem when something goes wrong. If something goes correct, then there is no issue. So it is always good to enter the invoice number of your system. Like if you're using, like typically you will be generating an invoice in your system, and your system will be giving you some invoice number, so you can enter that number. So we have placed a validation rule which will has a 16 digit of a restriction, followed by only few special characters allowed. Okay, and also, like when you're doing the invoice, make sure you adhere to all the rules, and you submit the invoice. And also, few of the most common questions asked over here, like when you're processing the invoice, you may get an error that you are not VAT registered. Okay, so it means that, in your account setting, which is covered in the session, like we'll show you how to make your account, your company as VAT registered and all. So there are few things which has to be taken care before you come up on this invoice section. Like you need to be VAT registered, you need to enter your VAT, and also make sure you have clicked. Also make sure your relationship with the customer is set to auto, so that there is no need for you to go into the account and make it as manual accept. These all topics are covered. I'm just informing you the most common issues which are faced while you're doing the invoice. Sometimes when you're processing the invoice, this invoice may be a pretty old, and by mistake, finance has posted an invoice at the back end, which is stopped, which the team has stopped, and they are always following the invoice which is sent from the Ariba network. So if you face any kind of an error while submitting an invoice, like there is no matching value found, or there is no sufficient value on the PO and all, so please give that PO reference and the invoice number what you have put to the respective buyer or to the operation counterpart with whom you are interacting, so that they can check and they can correct their system and they can advise you the next steps. Yeah, so these are some of the common issues what we have seen in our experience while the suppliers are uploading the invoice.
Yes, thanks, Irfan. So now we click on next, and let's see if we're still missing any other information or not. So here you see that we got another error message that says your customer requires attachment for invoices. So here we missed already to attach our invoice. So this is also required by the group. Whenever you submit new invoice or create new invoice, you need to also attach your invoice copy in this invoice document. So how you can attach the invoice? You can go down, just scroll down here, and here in this button, add to header, you can click on this one, and from the drop-down list, you choose the last option here, which is attachment. This will add new line for attachment on above here, as you can see. And then you can click on choose file to browse your file and attach it to the invoice, so it would be reviewed and accepted by the group later on. So here we have, let's say, this PDF. Okay, so I just uploaded, I just choose this invoice copy PDF file. Then I need to click on add attachment, because I need also to see this. I have to see it in the line items. So once you click on add attachment, you will see your attachment was added. Okay, and in this line, if you want to add more attachment, you can always click on choose file and browse your file and add attachment. If you want to delete one of those attachments that you added, maybe by mistake, then you can select this attachment and you can click on delete. So now I added the invoice printout, okay, as an attachment, and I'm ready to click on next. Then, as a last step, as we used to see, it's a review screen. So here you can always review every information that you have filled in. So like the invoice number, some information about the cost, and also you can see this, some information related to the taxes, and you can see the file name of the attachments that you have added. If you are okay, then you can click on submit. Then this invoice will be sent to Iltizam group. In this screen, if you want to copy print a copy of the invoice, you can just click on print, and this will open for you the pop-up screen for printing. If you want to keep it as a reference on your desktop, for example, if you want to exit, you can click on exit invoice creation. Okay, now we can see in the related document, we have one more document has been added, which is the invoice document. Then this document, this invoice would be sent to Iltizam group, and based on the revision by Iltizam, they may reject or accept or approve this invoice later on. And then you'll be able to see this also by email notification. Okay, so Arfan, do you want to add anything before we switch to a service purchase order?
No, but we are okay for the service. Just show them the status of the invoice, like when it is approved, like how they can check the order history.
Yes, so yeah, let me just show you this also in this screen. So here you can see in this dashboard, and when you go to Workbench tab, if you click on the invoices, you will see the different invoices or the invoices that you posted or submitted in the last months or last 31 days. And as you can see, this is our purchase order, right? And we can see this invoice now is already sent. As you can see, the invoice status is sent. Once it's approved by Iltizam group, you'll see the invoice status is approved. If it was rejected, you will see that the status is rejected and you need to submit another one.
And if you have done the partial GRN and you have done the partial invoice, the status will be shown as partially invoiced. It will not be the status as invoiced. So you need to do the subsequent the A shipment followed by the GRN and the SCS. Like for the remaining quantity on the PO, you need to do your shipment and then the GRN and then the invoice. So once the PO is fully consumed, then the invoice status on the dashboard, it will be shown as the invoiced. Otherwise, it will be showing as the partially invoiced on the dashboard. Yeah, can we go into the PO? Can we refresh it and see whether it is approved or not?
Yes. So we always go back to again to the email PO and we check there's a PO from here.
And if you observe, like on the right side, these blue icons, links which are coming, those are the related documents, what you have created. Okay, so what you need to do, Tamar, can you please go back on the previous screen?
Yes.
Yeah, on the right side, what you see. So these are the documents which has been created by you. Okay, so hold on the document what you have created. Like we have seen couple of cases where the suppliers are creating one after the other. They face certain issue without waiting for the response from the Iltizam team. They are in a hurry. They are creating many more documents. Please don't do that. Like if you face any issue or if you are not seeing any proper status on the order or as such, you please get in touch with the Iltizam team and they will check and then So creating duplicate documents on the PO and pushing more invoices to the system will spoil the work, and this will delay the process of invoice acceptance and your payment as well. So on the history tab, like the invoice is approved. So once the invoice is approved, so it is a notification to you. Intezam finance team has accepted that invoice, and they will run their payment as per their schedule, and the payment will be done to you. Okay, so this is your reference. So please check for this status whether the invoice is approved or not. So if it is approved, then it is fine. So if it is rejected, so try to get in touch with your counterpart, like for the reason for the rejection, and work with him. And as per his advice, you either modify the invoice or create another invoice. So wait for his call, like what might be the reason of the invoice getting rejected, and based on his response you can create another invoice or you can edit the same. Yeah, we can go to the service view.
Okay, thanks Irfan for this useful information as well. So now we also let's process end-to-end purchase order, but this time we'll process it for a service order. So we have this order is ready. Yeah, this 7-1.
Sorry, Tamar, I will be taking 1 more minute of yours. Sorry.
Sure.
Okay, just to add, since you have seen, we are showing you the demo. What we are showing to you is from the standard account. Like the standard account has few restrictions. You cannot do the direct navigation. And since we are into the demo, we are using the same screen to process. But in real time, things will not be this smooth, and it will take its own time. So that email which Tamar is referring to, so that holds the key. So you have to save that email in your folder, make it mark it as an important and all, whatever setting you would like to, because this email holds the key for you to interact with the Intezam group. Okay, so you need to make sure that this email is always in your inbox till the life cycle, the PO is fully invoiced, and you have got your payment and all. Because for the standard account, the email is the key. But if you are on the enterprise account, which is a paid one, then your navigation becomes from the portal itself. There is no need of this email. You can directly go into that enterprise account, and you can do the navigation. Tamar, are we covering few navigation from the enterprise account to show them the difference?
Yeah, once we are done with this service order, we'll have a quick navigation on standard account and later on enterprise account. Yes.
Yeah, that's great. So you will be able to see the difference, and you will be able to see what are the limitations of the standard and the enterprise account, and based on your need you can which will help you. And for the standard account, I repeat, this email holds the key, and and based on your email IDs updated, it will be showing you on the account management in the session, how the email IDs can be maintained to receive this PO and other notifications. Yeah, thanks, Tamar.
Yes, thanks, Irfan. Okay, so this is another purchase order that we received also from Intezam Group as a supplier. As you can see, this is a different number, right? And we can see the attachment of this order. Again, this is the same information that you have in the email body for this order. If we go down, we'll see the same message from Intezam Group. We'll see the process order, but the only difference here is that this is for a service order. So how we can identify whether this is a service or material order? So as we mentioned this, you can always identify this or recognize it from the type on the line item. So if we see this type is a service, that means it's a service order, and it's directed to you as a service supplier. What's important here, again, this is a status of this purchase order and some contact information as we have talked about during the material PO. So in the service order, you'll see the type is service. You'll see also same information for need buy and the subtotal and taxes. You'll see the service description that is required, and you will see it in parent-child hierarchy. So this is the main service requested, telecom services, or the group of the service. And here you may find a couple of services requested, like a consultancy or consulting service, and maybe you see also some other services other than consulting, maybe training, something like that. So you'll see it in parent-child format. And for each service requested here, you'll see the quantity requested and the unit price, subtotal, taxes, and same also for the other line items. Okay, so this is one of the key differences between the material PO and service PO. So we always need to check the service PO and check the child line items for the service group mentioned here. Okay, so if we are good to process this order, so we always need to click on process order. This is the only way to process your orders through standard account, as we mentioned. So once you click on this process order, this will navigate you directly to the service order screen, where you see your purchase order number that you already received from Iltizam Group. You see the status, and you see the same information that we have seen in the email. So here you see it in more easy format. So you see here is the main service requested, or the service group, and the services in child form. So here you can review and check if this is okay and accepted by you. And you can see here also this is the document that is required, which is the service sheets that can be created later on. And as we also used to see in the material PO, so we have order confirmation is only allowed at this stage. The other documents are not allowed because they depend on creating first the order confirmations. Then you will be able to create ship notice, then service entry sheet, and then invoice. So same rules in material PO. Also we have it here applied in service PO. What is the difference? Only that we see new button added for the service PO, which is called create service sheet. So once you are done with your service, you can create this service sheet and post it, and the Iltizam Group can review it and approve it. Then you can create the invoice. So this is instead of the goods receipt document that was posted for the material PO by Iltizam Group. Here you need to post your service sheet, then to be approved by Iltizam Group in order to create the invoice. So now what we'll do also, we have the same options. We can always confirm the entire order, and as you can see, this update line items is not allowed. Okay, for service orders with Iltizam Group, so you'll not be able to partially confirm service orders. So you have one of two options, whether you go with confirming the entire order or you go with rejection of the entire order. So for now, we'll confirm the entire order. And this is the same screen that we got also with the material PO. So again, you need to enter here a meaningful number as a reference number for your confirmation. And then you can add also supplier reference. And here, this field is mandatory, which is estimated completion date. So this is need by 14th of September. So I can also enter something nearby this date. So let's make it like 14th for now. And then we can review the line items that we're going to confirm. And as you can see, this is confirmed as is. So as already proposed by Iltizam Group, they need this service by this date. You also added the same date. If there is a difference, you'll see a different message here. And then we can click on next. If we missed any mandatory field, we'll not be able to proceed next, as we used to see. Then you can review your confirmation number. You can review the quantity that you are going to provide as a service. And then you can click on submit. Then we'll see a couple of changes in the purchase order. So first, we'll see that the confirmed status is now updated, or sorry, the purchase order status is now changed from new to confirmed, and we can see in the related documents our confirmation or order confirmation documents that we have posted. And also we can see another change, which is this button is now active, so which means you are able to create a service entry sheet for Iltizam group, and then wait for approval so that you can create your invoice. Erfan, do you want to add something before we proceed with create service sheet?
No, good to go for SES.
Okay, so then, as we said, since you have a standard account, so you always need to go back to your email in order to process it further, okay? Or if you have these screens already open, but this wouldn't be the real case. So in the real case, you already confirmed this order today, and as we said, you will wait for some days until this service is already delivered to your customer, and then you will need to locate or find out your purchase order email that you got from Iltizam, and then you can click on create process order again, and this will navigate you to the same screens that we have seen, where you can click on create service sheet. And here also you need to fill in some important information, which is mandatory information for submitting the service entry sheet. So yeah, whenever we see with asterisk again, it's mandatory. So here the service entry sheet number is a mandatory field. You need to enter it, and the service sheet date, this is defaulted to today's date. If you want to change it, you can change. We have the service start date and service end date, when you started the service and when you ended this service. This is also mandatory. And we can see here also the attachment is mandatory, and it's showing here. So this is the service entry sheet printout that you can also upload it here in order to be checked by Iltizam group. And here we can see some additional fields. So like for the contractor and for the field engineer, but what is important for us is the approver. So here is this approver, you can enter the name of the buyer who requested this service. Okay, so this information also can be communicated to you by the buyer who requested the service, and what is the email address of this for the approver of this service. So this can be directed to him, and he can check the service entry sheets that you posted, and he can review it and see if this is what he has received already from you or not, just as a confirmation, and then he can approve your service entry sheet, and you can create the invoice. So first, we enter our service entry sheet number. This is again your own reference number. And then we need to fill in the service start date and end date. So service start date, this could be in the past, but service end date, this need to be up to today's date. So if you are trying to enter service end date in the future, system will not accept this. So for now, what we'll do, we'll just select it as a today's date in the service end date. But here you need to just enter the actual dates for the service start and service end. Here's for the approval, we'll enter the name, let's say Irfan. Okay, and the email ID. And then we need to attach also the service entry sheet.
I would like to add one thing over here, like on the details what just now what Tamer has entered, like my name and email. So what has to be done over here, like this guy, like this guy and this email ID, he will be the person responsible who will be approving the SES. So whenever you are doing that, so make sure you enter the correct person email ID. Your counterpart, like maybe the operation team with whom you have delivered the services and all, and this SES will be created only after you do the service. Okay, it's not like you have not done the service and you're seeking an advance payment. Like no, it's not like that. If it is an advance payment, then you need to have a check with the finance and who will be doing the advance payment based on your PO agreement. Like service entry sheet is created when you have completed the service. Yeah, when you have delivered the service, like how we have seen the shipment, like in the for the service PO, it will be the SES. Like, if you have been asked to repair some AC, and you went to the site and you have done the AC repair. So after that, you will be going and create that SES by entering, on which date you have done the service, the date which Tamer has shown. You need to enter that date. You need to put the description, and at the site location, it was FM supervisor who has given you the access to that site to maintain and all. So, and he's the person who has verified your work. So you need to enter his email and his name so that the system will send the notifications to him. Further, if you're not sure like what are this email, name and email has to be entered. If you go on to the PO, Tamer, can you please go to the PO email? Can you just scroll to the delivered to section? Yeah, under this delivered to section, yeah, which is blank right now, but in the actual case, you will be seeing the person name and his email ID. Yeah, so you need to take the name and email ID if you're not sure, like who will be approving your SDS. So you need to take your the person name and email ID, and you need to enter the same thing on the SDS. Okay. Tamer, can we go to the SDS, please? Yeah, so you need to enter his name and his email ID. Yeah, like if you went to the site and you see on the PO the name is like Muhammad and his email ID is Muhammad at Intizam Group, but on the site advice, Muhammad has left the company. Now some Ahmad has joined. So Ahmad is telling that, okay, on the video you are seeing, but Muhammad is no more with us. So please enter his detail and he can get it. Or, you can have a call with him or understand with him, like who will be approving that, yes, and enter his detail. Okay. So make sure this a piece of information is very necessary, because the system will send the alerts to this guy for approving your SES, and your invoice processing would be much faster. Yeah, thanks, Tamer.
Yes, thanks, Irfan. So yeah, this is important information also before we submit the service entry sheet. So now we already maintain the approver and information or contact details, and we added the service entry sheet. This is our printout for the service entry sheet. We can also confirm here the quantity, and then we can review everything. If this is fine, then we can click on next. And again, the last screen to confirm your information that you have entered. If everything is fine, the approval information that you have filled in is already correct, then you can click on submit. So here, if you want to print a copy of the service entry sheet, you can click on print. If you want to exit the service entry sheet creation, you can click on exit. And here we'll see that this order now, this service entry sheet now is attached and it's added to the related document. Now this service entry sheet is sent to Iltizam Group for approval. So Iltizam Group will, or the approver that you have added in the service entry sheet will check it and will review it and see if this is accepted by him. If it's accepted, he will approve the service entry sheet. If it's not, then this would be rejected and you will need to submit a new one. So for now, we'll wait for the approval of the service entry sheet so that we can create the invoice. So here, you will not be able to create invoice until the service entry sheet is approved. If we just put the cursor here, you can see this information message already. So in order to create invoice, we need to have at least one service sheet approved. Okay, so again, we close this one and wait for the service entry sheet approval by Iltizam Group or the approver contact that we have added. And and then we can create the invoice. Okay, so let's wait a little bit, then we'll be able to create it.
Yeah, and to add further, like, the SCS what Jasnat Zaman has created, this he has created for full PO, right? For the full quantity he has done. So while doing that, Tama, can you please navigate to the SCS? Yeah, go up. There is a final invoice indicator. Yeah, so you make sure you have, like, we can see the final service sheet is set to no. So while you're creating the SCS, make sure that final service entry sheet is ticked. Okay, you need to mark it, because you're not expecting any more service. You have completed the job, like, the AC job which we were talking about. You went to the site, you have fixed the service, and this is the final. Like, you are no more submitting any more SCS after that. So make sure you select that invoice. Okay. Uh, if there is, partial service has been done, like we have seen a couple of cases where, the supplier has selected this final entry sheet at the beginning only. What if you select this at the beginning for the partial service, like, there are 2 site visits to the location, and you are doing the job like 50% now and 50% the other month. So in that case, never make the final entry sheet pick upfront for your first STS. It should be at the last. Okay, so we have seen a couple of cases where supplier is always selecting the final service entry sheet, and it is getting posted into the system. So if that happens, what system will do is that it will close the PO. So when you are trying to create the follow-on SES, system will throw you an error that, there is the PO has been closed, or the final entry sheet picked, or something like that. So make sure, like, if your service is the final one, is the last one, is it matching with the PO value, then only you click on that checkbox, final entry sheet. And the advice for you to check it for your reporting purpose and our purpose, for, to close the PO, like, the last service has been done. And as you can see, the status has been shown as approved. And there can be a few cases where the SES can be rejected. So all those logs can be checked, as advised earlier as well, on the history tab. And if you see you're not having the status as approved and it is still under the status service, you check the history tab, and whatever the message is showing, you get in touch with the buyer or your AFM or whoever you are working with, and they will be in touch with the respective IT team at the Altazan, and then they will advise you the next. Okay, and do remember on the important things what I have just now mentioned, because we have seen a couple of scenarios where the suppliers are by default taking the service entry sheet, but that is not the last service entry. Yeah, Tamer, we can proceed for the invoice.
Okay, yes. So yeah, now we have approved, or now the service entry sheet was approved, right? So now we can see this button for create invoice if you want to create it from here, or even you can create it from the previous screen. So here we can see also this create invoice button is now active, and we are able to create standard invoice. And you can see now the status of the order is serviced once it's approved, right? So this also has been changed. So what we'll do next is just to create invoice as we already did for the material PO. So same steps, you can follow it here when you create the service invoice. So you fill in your internal invoice number, which is the number that you will use it, and you'll communicate it with the Iltizam group. You can add also your tax number, invoice tax number, for example, here. And you can always need to add attachment for your invoice to add to header and choose file. and then you can attach your invoice printout and click on Add Attachment. Then it would be added here in this line item. And you can review again the details of this invoice, and you'll see everything is just copied from the original service order. Then we can click on Next. If we miss something, we'll not be able to proceed. If it's okay, you will get this review screen. Then you can review everything before you click on Submit button. And if everything is okay, you can press Submit. Then this invoice will be sent to Iltizam, and again, Iltizam group will review it, and they can reject it or they can approve it, and you'll be able to see the status of this invoice later on. Okay, then we are done with the service order and material order. What I want to show you next is the navigation of account navigation on standard account versus the enterprise account, just to show you quick navigation and some features already available. So first, this is a standard account. Okay.
Let us take a few minutes on that invoice, Tamer. Sorry. Okay. So
sure.
I missed one thing when we were talking about the SES. Like, if the SES got rejected by the operation teams because you have not filled in the data correctly, or by mistake you have clicked that final indicator and all, so you can go to the same SES rather than creating a new SES that can be found under the related documents what we have shown earlier. You can click on that SES and you can click on the edit button and you can remove that flag and submit it again. So the same SES will comes up, and the backend person who is responsible, he will approve. So all the documents, whatever you are creating for that particular PO, can be checked under that related documents. That related documents are the documents which are created against this PO. Yeah, so you need to have that navigation, on the right side where there is where the Tamer is highlighted. So this is how you can do it, and the history, the tab on each of the transaction, whether it is a confirmation or your shipment or SCS or invoice, whatever may be the case, the system will give you all the logs, like what is the issue, why the document has not been created and all. So it will help you understand the things, and and most importantly, like if there is any issue, the Iltizam team can quickly assist you without taking much time on it. Yeah, so now we have concluded the detailed demo of both the consumable on the service, like how it can be processed. Now we will be going into the account section, like how you can manage your account, how to update your email IDs, and like how you can become the administrator of the account, how to receive all the notifications, and how to see your dashboard for different customers and all, and like what will happen if the person who is working for one organization, and if he left the company, how to use his account, and this type of things we will discuss, and we will try to show you like how you can make yourself as VAT registered, and how you can add multiple IDs for your different team to access the same portal, and difference between standard and enterprise account and all. Yeah, thank you, Tamer.
Yes, thanks, Irfan. So yes, this is the last part of our demo. Today is to show you how we navigate on a standard account and also the enterprise account, as Irfan mentioned. So this is, let's start first with the standard account. As you can see, you always can recognize this from the top left. This is called standard account. So if you want to upgrade, this is a button that we talked about. If you click on upgrade, this will navigate you to the next screen where you can see the comparison between standard account versus enterprise account. And then if you are interested to see how the fees are calculated, you can click on this hyperlink, and this will navigate you to the fees schedule. If you already decided to upgrade, you can click on this upgrade button. Then let's go back again and check what is available in the standard account. So as you can see in the standard account, we have dashboards, some widgets, as you can see, like for purchase orders. If you have leads, this is from Ariba Discovery, and more. Also, this is about the mobile app, the Supplier mobile app that we talked about. You can download it from Google Play App Store, and some more also information which is very user friendly. And you can see this for different customers. So if you have also more customers, you can just drill down or can choose your customer from the drop-down list and see this information for each customer that you have trading relationship with them. What is important here just to highlight is these tabs which are already grayed out here, they are not active. So those tabs require enterprise account access in order to be able to open them. So that's what I will show you when we log in as an enterprise account. What important here in the standard account is this tab or this report in the workbench. So if you click on orders, this will show you the orders that you received in the last 31 days. And here, let's say for some reasons you already lost this email PO that you received from Iltizam group, and you want to find out this email in order to process the order or in order to create invoice or any other subsequent document. So what you can do is just to click on these orders, and you can see which orders that you are not able to see or to find it in your inbox. And then you can click on these three dots on actions column, and you can click on send me a copy to take action. So this will send you again a new email PO to your email ID that is already registered with this account. And it's typically the same email that you got from Iltizam. Again, this will be sent to you, and you will be able to find out this email, and you will be able to click on process order again. Because as we mentioned, through the standard account, you cannot navigate directly to the PO from the Ariba network screen. So as you can see, this is not hyperlink. So this is just as information for you in order to just report on the purchase orders that you received. And if you lost the email PO, you can always send it again as a copy to your email. Okay, so this is about this point. This for standard account. It's very important for standard account. For enterprise, we'll see that we'll be able to access everything from our screen. What also is important here, so here on the initials on the top right, you can see here these are the initials. Some you can always navigate to the different settings for your account from this button. So here this is for my account. So here if you want to change the user ID registered password, you want to change, this is applicable from here. Link user IDs also, this is in case if you want to have in a parent-child hierarchy, the user IDs, you can make it through this setting. What is important for now, and this is also all these settings also apply to enterprise account, is the company profile and setting. So if we click on company profile, this will navigate us to set up your company profile, your organization profile, where you can add more information about your company, because this later on also will be available for other customers can reach you, and also this will be recorded in your documents that you submit. So everything would come by default. So here you can fill in again your exact company name. You can see that the address, your address, and the city, state, country, everything you can fill it in here. And what is important is about these additional company addresses. This is where you can create or you can add your VAT ID. So this is very important for UEE suppliers to maintain your VAT ID prior to create your first invoice. So you always need to make sure that you updated this setting in your account profile. So if you want to add your VAT ID, you can simply click on create. And this again will ask you about some additional information about the address name that you have, for example. And here, this is the important question that you need to answer it with yes. If you are VAT registered, then you need to make sure that this is yes. So as Irfan mentioned, that if you got this message during invoice creation that you're not VAT registered, So that's because you missed this this step. And here also you can maintain your VAT ID and the tax ID as well, so that it would be copied to the invoice when you create the invoice. And then you can confirm the other addresses information, and you can click on save, and then this would be added to your profile, and it will be copied to your invoice. What is important here also is about the list of products and service categories. So if you are a material supplier, you can enter the products categories that you can deliver. So later on, this also would be matched with other customer requests, and they can reach you via Ariba Discovery, for example. So here you can always add your product categories or service categories if you are a service supplier. And also then you can add it like that, and again it will be added here. And also you can add here as a ship to or service location where you can deliver to. So if you are delivering to let's say UAE, so this is one of the countries that you can deliver to, then you can add it here, for example Egypt. Okay, then you can add it like that, and then you click on add, and this will be added as a one locations that you can deliver to it. Okay, so this is some information that you can fill it in here in the company profile. What is also important to set it up, so let's close this one and let's navigate to another setting, which is also, so all settings that we're talking about, this is applicable for enterprise account and for standard account. So if we go to settings here, we can see that we have different settings that we can change it or we can edit it anytime. So let's start first with users. So if we click on users, so if you are the administrator of your account and you want to create new users who can access your account and can process also purchase orders and can open the Ariba network account for your organization. So this is also possible through Ariba network. So if you're the administrator, you can navigate to this setting and you can go to users. And first, what you need to do is to create a role for your user. So you can give to this user limited access to some screens or some transactions that you want the user to have access to it. So if you want to make this limitation, you always need a role. So let's say that we need to create a new role for our organization. So what you will need to do is to click on this create role button, the plus button, and then this will navigate you to this screen. So if I want to create for one department, they want to have access to Ariba network in order to check the invoices that is already posted, for example. So here I can create a specific role for the finance team, and this role I can give it a name, I can give it description, and what is important, I can give, I can add to this role permissions. So as a permission, I can give to the users who already assigned to this role some permissions only, which is relevant for invoice. So for example, invoice generation, I need to give them payment activities, for example. I need to give them also some more access, like they can have a look into the customer relationship. It's like that. So if you want to give them access to everything, you can select all, for example, if this is a more generic role. Then I click on save, and this would create the role for me. So now I have this finance 2 is added, but I don't have any users assigned. So in order to create users and assign them to a role, you need to click on manage users. And here you can also click on plus sign here, this create user. And again, you would be asked to enter some information like the username. So here's the username, you can make it in email format, just to make it more easier to be used. So you can add here the same email ID for the user who is going to have access, and you can enter here, this is his email ID as well. And you can enter the first name and last name. So all these important or mandatory fields, and you can just select the role that needs to be assigned to this user. So I need to assign him to finance 2, and then I click on done. Okay, and this message, because I'm using another domain different from my domain or my organization domain that is used for this supplier, so I got this message just as a warning, but I can confirm it with yes. But normally you will be entering a domain that is matching your organization domain. And then we can see that I have my username is assigned to this role, Finance 2. Then I click Save, and this is now updated.
Tamar, can you please address this one as well? Like, to which email ID generally the supplier will receive the PO email, and how he can add more emails to that, so that is there a possibility like more than one person can receive a digital copy of that PO email, the interactive email through which they can access? Can you please advise on that?
Yes, yes. So this is also coming here. So yeah, as Irfan mentioned, if you want to check the email addresses which are already supposed to receive those email POs, when let's say Iltizam Group is sending new PO, who needs to receive this PO email? So we can always make this change or to edit this setting from settings, and you go to electronic order routing, and here you will find exactly here in the new orders. Okay, in this document type, catalogs without attachment, you will see that this is required for a standard account, that you need to make sure this is set up to email. And here you can enter the email address that needs to receive the purchase order. So whenever there is a new purchase order sent, this email address will be notifying and will be receiving email PO. If you want to add more email addresses, you can always add them separated by comma. Just for your information also, we allow up to 5 email addresses to be maintained here. So we can add up to 5 email addresses. So once Iltizam Group sending new PO, those 5 email addresses can receive this email PO. And if they have access and they have the credentials, they can process this PO. So this is for the PO email. And you can see all settings, our routing method already depends on these settings that you maintained it here.
And Tamar, can you please advise like how suppliers can download the guides for updating this? Is there any ABA available for this one?
Yeah, the training guides, right?
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
and
I will
also,
navigate them quickly for this also.
Okay, and also like if by mistake, if the supplier has deleted the interactive email, how he can get that email again from the network?
If he deleted the email ID?
Deleted the interactive email from his Outlook.
Yes, yes. So this we already showed, right? So they need to go here to orders, and from orders they need to navigate to the POs they want to send it again, and from actions they click on these 3 dots and send me a copy. Yeah.
Okay, and what if I'm not able to see my PO under this list? How can I edit this filter options? Can you please show that?
Yes, so if you want to also show this more purchase order based or change this filter, so this currently is configured as a last 31 days. If you want to change this, you can click on edit filter, and from here you can choose whatever is best for you. So you can choose up to last 365 days, and you can apply this filter, and this will show you all orders that you received in the last 365 days.
Yeah, so this was some of the common FAQs which we tried to address, like, where suppliers were telling that the orders are not available. We received the interactive email, but it is not coming up. So that might be a case, like, your filter option is set as like 30 days or current date or something as such, and which is not showing on the dashboard. So please do look on the filter option, so that you change the field date, like maybe 365 days or a custom date range. And if by any chance you missed out on the interactive email, like that print out button which is shown again by Cameron, that is how you can get that email again to your email ID. So do remember those account settings, which will help you to know like how to receive the email in your inbox, because that email is very necessary for all the standard account suppliers. Yeah, thanks, Nama.
Yes, thanks, Irfan. Yeah, so this is very important information to know in order to navigate properly with your standard account, or even this is also for enterprise, this is also available. What also is important here, apart from the electronic order routing, is the notification or network notification. So this is what Irfan also mentioned in the at the beginning of the session or the demonstration, where we talked about notifications. So if you want to receive some notification when the service entry sheet is failed or changed, invoice was failed or changed, any notifications that you want to set it up here, you can always make sure that this notification is already marked. So this checkbox is already checked, and you have the right email address. So maybe for some order notification that is not maybe like new orders or not new orders, let's say that service entry sheet was failed, something like that, some errors that you want to notify some specific persons. Okay, so you can always go here and make sure this notification is marked and the email address is filled in. So here you will find lots of notifications that you can activate it and you can receive it to the right email address. Okay, so you always need to go here and make sure this notification already active in order to receive email notification for any actions that you want. Okay, so that's about the account navigation for the standard account, and as we said, also these settings apply to enterprise account. What is important also, just to show you, if you want to check the training guides for Iltizam Group. So we have already some training guides for Iltizam Group uploaded in one portal. So if you want to go to this portal and check again all those steps that we mentioned in today's demo with the screenshots step by step, you can go from here to settings, customer relationship, and from here you can check your customer, which is Iltizam Group, and in front of Iltizam Group, you will see this in Supplier Information Portal column. So in Supplier Information Portal column, you will see there is a hyperlink. This hyperlink will open a pop-up screen for you that if you welcome to Iltizam Group Information Portal, and here if you want to access this Supplier Information Portal, you can click again on this hyperlink, and again this will navigate you to the Supplier Information Portal or SIP for Iltizam Group. So this is very important portal that you need to always go back to this one, because this is the main repository where we store all training guides for Iltizam Group. So if you are missing some steps or you forgot to how you can create some documents, for example, so you can always go here from the hyperlink for each training guide and you can click on it, and then you can download it or you can access it online, and you can check those steps and those training guides in order to just avoid missing any steps or doing something wrong. So you can always see this training guide and you can follow the steps. So everything that we explained today, it's already documented in one training guide, and you will see also some more information and additional guides. One of them is the standard account FAQ. So this one also has some FAQs. So make sure that you always check those FAQs before you contact Iltizam group, because everything is already documented and it's already also well explained in those documents. So this is a very good reference for you in order to make sure that you submit documents properly on Ariba network. Okay, so this is about the SIP and training guides. Also, I want to show you quickly how you can contact the support team. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you. Can you talk more on the customer relationship? What is those two radio buttons, which is like manual and an automatic? Like, what is the significance, and what will happen if we maintain manual, and what will happen if we maintain automatic?
Yes, so this is also important setting. So by default, you'll see this is customer relationship is set up to automatically accept all relationship requests, which means if you already got a new trading relationship from a new customer, or a new customer already sent you a relationship, this would be accepted automatically, and it will be shown here as a customer relationship. So you don't need to go and approve this customer relationship. But if you have this manual review all relationship setting, that means every trading relationship or any customer trading relationship that will be sent to you, any request will be sent to you, you need to go and log into your account and accept it manually. So it depends on how you want to set up your account. You can always make it automatic. This is much more easier for you because you don't need to accept every trading relationship that you got from your customer. So so it would be make it easy, and you don't need again to log into the Ariba account and make this approval manually.
And what will happen, like if the relationship is not approved? Like what changes he will see on the dashboard?
Yeah, he will see this is pending here, and he will need to approve it.
Yeah, like if the relationship is not approved and it is pending, then you will not be able to do any confirmation, any shipment notice, or any invoices. So the relationship should always be approved. Then only, those confirmation and those shipment notice buttons will be enabled, and you will be able to transact with the customer. Or else, if it is set to manual and the relationship is impending, then you will be able to see the order in the dashboard, but you'll not be able to create it.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So it's very important and recommended always to check in this setting, customer relationship, and make sure this is automatically set up. Or if you want to make it manually, then you need to make sure to always to check this and approve this trading relationship before you process the order further. Okay, so last thing I want to show you also as a navigation here is how to contact the support team in case of technical issue. So this is just in case of any technical issue. So like you got abnormal error and your buyer also requested you to submit to contact the support team to help you and fix this issue, technical issue. So from the top right beside your initial here, you can click on this question mark, which is help, and you can just type in your issue. That, for example, you are not able to create invoice, okay, or there is an invoice failure. If you then find what you are looking for, you can click on support, this button, and then this will navigate you to the support to the screen, where you can also search for more relevant documents for your issue. So this will navigate you to the help center, and here you can search about what you are looking for invoice failure. Again, here you will get some more documents matched with your search that you have entered it here. And in case if you didn't find what you're looking for, this doesn't help anymore, then you can click on Contact Us, this third tab. And from Contact Us, again, you can type your issue. And again, the help center will recommend you some FAQs that you can go through it. If you didn't find what you're looking for, then you will answer this question that you need really to report a technical issue. So you will answer this with yes, and then system will ask you about what type of issue do you need to report. So this, for example, it's an invoice failure issue. I'm not able to post the invoice. Then you can submit, you can click on Contact Us here on this button on the at the bottom right. And here you are going to submit incident or SAP ticket to Ariba support team. So you need to make sure that this subject is clear and also full description, like I'm not able. So you can explain clearly how this issue look like to create an invoice due to, and you can mention, for example, the error message. You can add attachment like screenshots. You can mention what is the issue type. So this is related to PO and invoice management. You can also mention the issue area like create invoice, and you can fill in some contact information, and then you can click on last step and submit your incident or service or this ticket to a support team. Then the support team will be contacting you by email, and you will be able to update this service request by email, and you can just contact them, and they will help you further to fix your technical issue. Okay, so that's the standard account, and also contacting the support team. This is also applicable with the enterprise account. So what I will show you next quickly is the enterprise account navigation. So in this navigation, I also will show you the difference between the standard and enterprise. So I have here this credential for enterprise account. So as we agreed, the enterprise account includes everything in standard, plus some additional features. So what are these features that what we are going to see here? So as you can see, it's the same dashboard, right? But the difference here, we see the type is now it's the enterprise account. We don't see this button for upgrade anymore because we already upgraded to enterprise account. And we see these tabs now are active. These are for orders, for fulfillment, invoices, etc., and reports as well. So the only difference here also that you can always manage your purchase order from your account. So you don't need to go back to the email POs that you received. You can always go from this order tab. You can see your orders. You can apply additional filters to find out your purchase order. And as you can see, this is now hyperlink, which means if I click on this order, I will be able to navigate it directly to the order without clicking on this process order button in the email. And I can create order confirmation, and I do everything from my account. So this is more user-friendly interface. So everything you can access it from here. So if this is order, you can go to orders. If you want to create service sheet, you can go to fulfillment, order confirmation, invoices, and everything is also allows these filters and reporting. And you can always go and list down the invoices, the POs, and you can create a subsequent document. What also is important here is the reports, and this is also one of the features only available for enterprise account. So in reports, you can create new reports. So we have already on Ariba network, we have some pre-packaged reports that you can schedule them, and you can run them every time you want. Like if you want to create a purchase order report, then you can give it a title, you can give it a description, and here from the report type, you can, for example, these are the pre-packaged report. So you can choose the report type that you want, and then you can choose the criteria for this report. These are the selection criteria. So maybe you want to filter it on specific customers, you want to filter it on a specific date, and then you can click submit. Then later on, you can extract this report and you can send it by email. And it's very helpful. So we have different types of reports that you can schedule them even automatically, and they can be sent to your email ID automatically on a specific date or on a specific time. So that's the key difference between the standard account and the enterprise account. So yeah, we are done with the demonstration part. Then I will stop sharing and I go back again to the presentation just to complete the few slides left. So again, these are screenshots about the same steps that we have talked about as an interactive email PO that you got, that you receive from your customer. You need to click on process order, and this is very important screen that we talked about. So in case if Ariba already detected that your account is your organization is already signed up on Ariba network, you will get this pop-up screen that we have identified that your organization is already registered. Then you need to review the accounts and just to check if this is the right domain for your organization. Then you need to contact the administrator, or if you're already the administrator, you need to log in with your credential. So this in case if you click on process order and system or Ariba detected that your organization is already registered, then you can click on this review accounts, and after that you'll be able to navigate to this screen to review if you already got the credential. You can log in normally and process the order. If this is not any more relevant for your organization, you can always sign up. That's why we recommend to always align internally before you click on a process order button. And in case if you already decided to sign up, you will get this screen. So this is the Ariba registration screen. So here you need to fill in some information like company name, and you need to accept the terms of use, and then you need to click register, and then you will get Ariba network account number, and you will be able to log in and process order. Also, we have, in case if you already have enterprise account with Ariba and you are now transacting with Iltizam Group for the first time on Ariba network, however, you have already customer relationship with other customer or trading relationships with other customer, you can also use the same account if you have this enterprise account, and you can add this customer relationship to your existing enterprise account. But you need to keep in mind that fees might be applied, because this again will increase the number of documents and volume, which is already one of the thresholds that we calculate based on it, the additional fees for enterprise account. And this again the steps that you can follow in order to merge your standard account PO into your existing Ariba account. So if you click on process order and you already have account, then Ariba will detect that and will ask you to review the accounts. If you got the credentials, then you can log in normally with your credential. And here, these are some reference links. So again, we added the supplier information portal link if you want to access it directly, or even you can access it from your Ariba account screen, as we have seen from settings, customer relationship. And also we have added here one more link for additional information about standard account, in case if you were interested to know more about standard account and its features. So you'll find very useful information and documents already stored here. And this is Iltizam Group support email. So if you have any business inquiries to Iltizam Group, then you can always refer back to this email and you can contact them. Then, so that's the end of our presentation. Yeah, we'll have 5-10 minutes for question. So feel free to, if you have any question, to ask it in the Q&A chat button. Just click on this button and ask your question, and someone from our team will answer your question. Also, just to let you know, so within 24 to 48 hours, you should be receiving the presentation that we presented today, along with the recording for this summit. Okay, so this also should be sent to you soon as well. So Irfan, yeah, handing over back to you if you want to say a few words.
Okay, so Tamer, we have some questions which we can address over the call. Like one of the suppliers is asking like how many users they can create per account. Can you please advise on that?
Yes, so as I remember, this is up to 250 user names are allowed.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so and one more questions like if an employee resigns and who is handling the account, and the other person who joins the organization, he doesn't know the credentials, so how he can recover and how he can make himself as the administrator. Can you please advise on that?
Yes, so if the one who resigned is the administrator for the of the account for the organization, then he needs to always just support to contact the support team and raise incident, and he needs to fill in also all information, because this is also a task for the technical support team by Ariba to change this username that is registered for the account, but he need to fill in some information that we can also provide, this template we can provide to the suppliers who are facing this. So it would be much more easier while submitting this ticket or the incident to Ariba support team. They can respond very quickly and they can just address this. But if he is not the administrator and he is just a user, then the administrator can always manage this through adding new users and deleting new users for the account.
Okay, and one more question from the supplier, like, by mistake they have change the account type from standard to enterprise, how they can revert back to the standard?
Yes, again, also service or a ticket is required to be raised to support team. And prior to submitting this ticket, we need to make sure that if there is any pending invoices on the supplier, he need to make sure that this is already settled with the support team. And if he has no pending invoices on his side, then he can raise this ticket and they would be able to switch him back to standard accounts.
Okay, and also one of the most common asked questions, like, is it allowed from SAP Ariba to have more than one company ID, like more than one ANID for the same purpose? And what are the
Yeah, you
SAP
can create
recommendations?
multiple. Yes, that's right. You can create multiple ANIDs because normally we can have one ANID to make it much more easier for tracking and for managing the account. But in case if, let's say, for one department, for sales department, they need to have account because they have access to proposals and quotations, RFP, etc. And another department, they need to have their account just to process only orders. So in this case, you can have two accounts, and if you want also to merge them, this is also should be possible.
So what are the SAP recommendations on this?
So we always recommend
to have more than one ANID for one customer, or is it only one unique ANID?
Yeah, it depends. It depends on on each supplier and each organization. But we always recommend to have just one account to make it much more easier for tracking and for managing the accounts. But also, yeah, the other option is allowed. But yeah, the first choice is always better to have one account, one ANID.
Like the suppliers are getting confused while downloading the supplier app from the App Store or the Play Store. Like they complain like they have multiple apps available. So any piece of advice on this one?
Yeah, I can just upload this again as a screenshot. Which one is the right one to download it, and we can update it in the SIB as well.
Okay. So I hope. Thanks for your quick answers, Tamer. Like while the team is continuously answering the questions posted by the supplier, and we will try to resolve your issues as well, like which you may face. This is a transition from a paper-based and the manual way of processing the invoice and the SCS to the in a digital way by using the SAP Ariba platform. We hope that this session was very helpful, and thank you, Tamer, for taking all the supplier for all the processes. And please make a note of all the important points which we have discussed, and you can always refer to this recording, and this recording can be kept in your repository, in your company repository or some folder. And if any new team member is joining with you, which can be referred. So that's it from us. So the session will be live for another 5 minutes. So by 12:30, we will end this session and we'll try to answer as many questions as we can in the next 5 minutes. So one quick last question, Tamer, like some of the suppliers who joined last time, they said that they didn't receive the recording. So if any supplier, they didn't receive recording in next 24 hours to 48 hours, like how they can retrieve the recording of the session?
Yes, they should be receiving, since they already registered on the link and they joined this session, they should be able to, so automatically they will get this email with the link to the presentation and also to the recording, okay? So in case if they didn't receive this, yeah, they can just revert back to us, but for whoever already registered, he should receive this email automatically.
Okay, so by default, like everyone should receive. If not, if maybe your email ID is incorrect, or there is some proxy, some blocking at your side, so that might be a reason, but you will receive it. Okay, before we finish the session on the in Mike, like one last question, like one last piece of advice to the supplier, like while you're uploading the invoices, uh, make sure you upload the PDF invoice while you are creating the invoice. Okay, like we have seen a couple of cases where suppliers are not uploading the invoices, PDF invoices while creating the invoices. This will lead to your invoice getting rejected. So whenever you are creating an invoice on Ariba, make sure you upload the PDF invoice. Okay, so if you follow the process, then your invoice will be approved in a very quick way, and then you can expect the payment. Okay, and also the most common thing what we see the suppliers are doing, like they have been awarded a PO and they are expecting an advance payment, but on the PO the terms are not agreed as an advance payment. So in this case, supplier should not confirm the PO, but they have to reject the PO and they need to inform procurement to update the payment terms as, like 30% advance and the remaining 70% after the delivery, after the delivery of the goods or the service. So this will help the Eltizam finance team to process your advance payment. Like if there are no advance payment terms has been agreed on the PO, then the finance will not release the payment to the suppliers. So whenever you receive the PO, just have a look on the PO, like whether any advance payment conditions has been met or not. If that is not met, then you can reject that PO and then you can coordinate with your buyer. Okay, so thank you for joining today, and we'll be having the more sessions. If any of the suppliers have missed or if you joined again, then our Iltizam group will be communicating you about the new dates. Okay, so we'll be there for another 2 to 3 minutes, and then we will end the session. Thank you, everyone.